Hi and welcome to today's Mishna Brura. We've been learning about somebody who needs to go to the bathroom in the middle of the Amidah. So what we saw yesterday was that if he suddenly needed to go, so he should wait until he finishes the Amidah, but during Shema, he can continue reading. The Ramah says, V'dafka, particularly, she'eino mit'aveh kol kach, that he doesn't need to go so badly to eat be mishum bal teshaktu, that there is in it because of, in other words, the factor of bal teshaktu, which is a prohibition, do not make disgusting, which as we saw before is that you can't hold yourself that you need to go very, very badly, that you actually feel disgust with your own body, or it's disgusting that you're not going to the toilet. You're not allowed to maintain that status. You actually have to go to the bathroom. But if this is not the case, your teretov lahafsik, it is better to stop. Okay, and then he goes into the references. And if he wants to distance himself and urinate, he can do so. Number 3, he needs, before prayer, so again the Amidah specifically, to remove kichor, which is saliva, the ne'or, which would be like phlegm, v'chol davar hatordo, and anything that bothers him. So it seems a common theme in those days that people would have, some kind of gunk in their mouth that would impede them from davening properly, and that would be problematic. So you can remove all of that from your mouth when you're saying before you're davening. It's a good idea to remove it. So he says this is all provided he doesn't need to go so badly. He's not pushed towards going to the toilet. It's just that it awakens. Ba'alma literally means in the world, but what it means is generally. He just feels like going. It's not that he needs to go, it's that he feels like going. So then finish. But without this, then you should rather stop. So he says, what does this mean? Even though he is able to hold and restrain himself until he will finish. Mikol makom, nevertheless, your teretov, it is better sheyafsik bein legedolim uvein leketanim, that he will stop, whether it's for a number 2 or for a number 1, mishum isu bal teshaktu, because of the prohibition of do not make yourself disgusting. V'kai, Aramaic word, going on. Areisha gamatfila, the first part, Aramaic for rosh, the head, is going on the first part of this paragraph. Also when we're speaking about prayer, the Amidah, not just when we're speaking about the Shema. Take a look in the Magen Avraham, who goes to length on this law, Umasik, and concludes that for a community, even when you're davening in a community, even the Trumat Hadeshin, is one opinion, agrees to the Rashba. Do not stop in the middle of prayer because of dignity of people. In other words, because of human dignity, that you're going to be leaving in the middle of your Amidah and everyone's going to see you going to the toilet. It's not nice. And since you don't really need to go, that's alright. Ve'afilu, even beyachid, an individual, yes, lishmoch gam ken ha'rashba delo yafsik. You can rely also on the rashba that you should not interrupt, that you don't need to stop in the middle. V'chein katav b'chai Adam, and so too the Chai Adam wrote, Da'asur lahafsik, it's forbidden to stop. U'v'derech ha'chaim katav, Der Chaim wrote, "De'im yesh bo mishum bal teshaktu." If there is here the factor of bal teshaktu, making yourself disgusting. In other words, again, you really need to go. Yuchal lahafsik. He's able to stop if he wants. Val kol panim, but at the very least. Gam ledidei, even according to him, Ein alav chiyuv lafsik. You don't have an obligation to stop. Since he is able to restrain himself until he will finish the prayer. And if it is impossible for him to stand until he reaches the Amidah, to hold himself until he reaches the Amidah, he is permissible to go out and to defecate in the middle, only that he should not interrupt with speech. So he shouldn't start talking in the middle, even though he's in Amidah and he needs to go to the toilet, so he doesn't say anything. Umashma, and it implies mizeh from this, afterwards lo yitzdarech lachzor larosh. He will not need to go back to the beginning of the Amidah. Kaivan shekodem atfilah lo hayat tzarech linkavav. Since before his Amidah, he did not need to go to the toilet. Provided this is where he does not wait through this going to the toilet enough to finish the entire Amidah. And if he wants to go out, it's speaking about Kriyat Shema le'el minei, above from it. Those are two Aramaic words. Speaking about Kriyat Shema, which came before, kai, going on, as we saw earlier. De talui birtzono, it depends on his desire, on what he wants to do. Because when it comes to prayer, he is not permitted to move from his place until he finishes his Amidah, but with prayer it is discretionary. That's it, much shorter one for today.